week's guests, we don't often have multiple ones, are part of a a season 2, similar to that Kevin show, for the PureFlix Great American Network that is tackling a subject from a very compassionate, quite unique, and very heartwarming perspective. Would you put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, and please welcome Cynthia Geary and Cozy Zulsdorf. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
So glad to have you with us. I had not seen any of season 1, so I was a little bit, in the ignorance on this. But when I kind of captured the understanding of what the show is all about, I just really it was really touching for me for a couple of reasons. I lost a mother at 17 who did have to have hospice care at the end of her life. And I had a few grandparents that went through that as well. Let me start with you, Cynthia, because you're the kind of veteran here. What drew you to this particular show, and what is it about it that got you excited about doing this role?
Everything. I think it's really unique. We haven't seen something like this on television before. It's also such a universal topic. Everyone's going to face it, like you said. Everyone's got their stories, their experience with hospice care or death of a loved one, and what drew me personally to it was the writing. It's just such a well written, well thought out. Our show creator Dan Merchant has been so meticulous with our characters and putting this show together. He worked hand in hand with Hospice of Spokane, Washington, and the stories and the things we talk about are all true stories coming from real life that he's been able to use. And I think it really shows in the show. I mean, the response I've gotten from people is just like, everyone's like, oh, I had that experience, or I went through this. And it's really been rewarding as an actor to be a part of this show and a person.
It is now streaming on Great American PureFlix, and I just want to say I need to back up. I got ahead of myself. The series is called Going Home, and it's just started streaming this week. But I'm just curious, Cozy, you worked on a lot of mainstream stuff. When you got the call for this, was there any concern at all that you were, doing something that was more faith-based or family-friendly?
No concern at all. If you look at my resume, you will see, like you said, a lot of mainstream things, but you'll always see things in line with the faith that I profess to be mine. I'm pretty vocal.
Yeah.
You won't really be able to not tell that I love Jesus when you meet me, because he's just the guiding force of my entire life. So it was really fun to be a part of a project that profess the same values that I do. It definitely requires thought, because it's so rare, like, to get anything made, first of all, and then for people to get things made that are faith-based, they have to be really excellent, and it takes so much money to make something amazing. And Going Home really stuck out for me among faith-based programming as something really powerful, really genuine, and palatable without being diluted, if that makes sense.
And I just want to say, the cast that they are pairing you girls with, you're getting all-star talent too. I mean, in season 1, you saw a bunch of big names, and you're getting a bunch of big names in season 2. So, and it almost has, if I can be as in poor taste to name a show that was also quite popular, This Is Us. It has a very emotive, very connecting kind of feel to this. And I'm curious, Cynthia, I'll come back to you for this one. Is there a piece of you in the story? Have you struggled with letting go of someone through a hospice situation? Have you personally taken on, do you have a connection to this subject matter?
The funny thing is, when I got these scripts, Kevin, I really hadn't ever stepped foot in a hospice. I had no experience with hospice care. I was so incredibly fortunate that I hadn't experienced a lot of death. and loved ones. And at my age, I'm like, I am very fortunate. My father recently passed away, and so now I can say that I have experienced that. But what this show has given me is it's opened my eyes to the possibilities and to hospice care, and really changed my attitude about death, and not being afraid, and looking at this as an opportunity to really create something and lasting and beautiful memories with my loved ones. And so I feel like this has just been an incredible gift to me. I will take the things I've learned in this show, and with my father passing recently, I literally heard myself saying things that we say on this show. And so it was like unusual and weird. And I'm like, am I quoting a line from my show? But it was real.
Yeah. That's really incredible. Cozy, same question to you. What is your connection to the subject matter?
Well, I come at it from a few different ways. When I was really, really small, my mom thought I would be a hospice care worker when I grew up, or work in a senior living center, because I've always gravitated toward grandparents and people who were my grandparents' age. Even when I was really small, I was just never afraid of like older people. I was always excited to be with them. And so even though that's not the direction my life went, it felt very clandestine and like perfect that I would someday play this character. Also, I have hospice care workers in my family. My cousin's a hospice nurse. And so I've learned about it from her, and always just been really intrigued. You know, all my grandparents had passed away by the time I was 14. So I was really acquainted with hospice care, losing people, and it just felt like a really good fit to bring the part of me that wondered, in another life, would this be my calling? You know, to kind of have it be my calling in a strange, specific way on this show. Well,
in a way that is attempting to give hope to others in the same process through the telling of great stories. Ladies, thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. We really are grateful for it.
Thank you, Kevin.
You got it.
Thank you.
Kevin McCullough coming back from New York. It's
Ready or not, we'll be right back.
Going home.